Hey, this is Aaron with Bowtie Tuesday. Buffet door set done. I've already done about half of it. So join me as I keep going. Try and walk you through some of the steps and colors and things that I'm working on. Right now I've got two colors working right now at the same time. And the dark color is Caviar, and the gray color is Stormy Seas. And I'm just doing a little bit of blending, soft blending, using the paint Dixie brush and a mister for sure, to keep it all wet. You can see the effect I'm going for here on the bottom. I just finished this corner and I'm quickly moving my way to the top right. And there's no time to waste on this process because you're fighting dry time. I've already put a base coat on these. Right now I'm just putting a little extra paint to keep it wet, but I've already put a coat of Stormy Seas on it. I'm going to switch back and forth between brushes, back to Caviar. There's several ways to get this technique. I could just paint it Stormy Seas and come back and dark glaze it, but I wanted to see how the Caviar would work blended in. So I guess you could say I'm doing more of a softer approach. Glazing's okay, I don't mind glazing, but I really wanted to create that faded soft look. The challenge here is to keep all the sides working together really well. I'm sitting in my desk chair. Sometimes it's a little low, sometimes it's too high. So I'm going up and down a lot. Anywhere I need to blend, I try to keep it wet. I do have one more to do, so this is almost my experimental door. And so far it's working out. I'm not saying that this is the last steps. I really want to accentuate the details on this amazing door. So either I'm going to come back with a highlight color. I may use metallics. But I'm just going to kind of take some time away from it after tonight and see. I'll definitely keep y'all posted on social media how it's coming. Alright, that was some more Caviar, a little bit of water. I've demonstrated blending before, so I'm not really using a lot of new techniques. Just kind of a different approach. Now the key to this technique that I'm using is that everything stays wet. So like I said before, just always moving. Brush. At some point, you just have to call it a day. Not a day, but you have to come back later on. Some things you might be able to fix, others not. You just have to decide if it's worth touching again. Sometimes you do have to fight a little bit with paint lifting up. And that's another reason you may have to take a break. So definitely want to make sure when I'm done, all of this detail is highlighted. And there's a lot of ways to do that. I can use gilding wax. I could come back with a brush. I demonstrated the other day with that and highlight it. I think right now I might be leaning towards gilding wax. Okay, so that's the look. Not a lot of depth right now, and I don't really want to do too many colors in this one phase. So I think I'm going to leave this like it is, let it dry. I might do some testing with the next steps, but so this is the original, this is the other buffet door. If you're following me on Facebook, you probably saw me post the project the other day. And so I actually painted this piece with, I was kind of running low on color, so I mixed 3 chalk paints together. It's Caviar, Midnight Sky, and In the Navy. I just mixed 3 containers of leftover paint together and created a really nice dark gray. Kind of just work in sections, one corner at a time. On the other one I painted the whole piece, but I'm just going to focus on one section at a time. I've got my easel out that I use with my artwork, and it's holding everything still. It's doing a good job, nice and sturdy. So step 1 when blending is think about the colors that you want to blend together. On one of the last pieces I did, I was blending 3 colors together. That's a little bit much to manage and keep wet. So this one, I'm sticking with 2 for now. Once this dries, you can't really, don't expect to be able to blend it after this dries. You would need to reapply some more color. All these 2 colors to be able to do the blending technique. So I only want to do a quarter at a time. Let's try that approach. And that'll help keep everything nice and wet. I've got my sprayer, mister. Okay. So that's Stormy Seas. Now go ahead and put a little bit of extra, keep that moist. Now I'm going to use the Caviar. I'm switching between a Dixie Belle oval small and I have a Klingon brush. One of the reasons why I didn't want to glaze in black is that I didn't really want dark black. I wanted dark color. So the nice thing about the blending technique is that the grays soften the black up. Okay, just kind of work that in there. In just a moment, I'll come back to that. But I'm just going to go ahead and put the Caviar everywhere I need it. I want this Caviar in all the grooves. And I want it to also mix with the paint. So I shouldn't have black, harsh black anywhere. Okay. If you need more, just apply a little bit more paint. But so if you need to, just another little spray. And now the blending. So I'm using my Paint Pixie natural bristle brush. Say that quickly, bristle brush. I have a rag here which I'll use to wipe off some of the paint. I always feel like I'm at a disadvantage because, you know, I don't do makeup, so this is, to me, almost like a makeup technique. See these ladies working their blushing, I guess. And they're just looking to soften everything on their skin. That's kind of what we're doing. So just inspect it, make sure if you need any more, if you put too much caviar in there, you can come back and put a little bit more of the lighter color and just soften that again. The fun part at this point is going to be continuing this all the way around. So 1/4 down, 3 I think I need another table over here. I'm using a little stool and it's falling off. So you have to be careful now. Now it's overlap where it was. So you have to kind of trust your blending to blend where you have not painted. So as I've been doing, I'm only going 1/4 of the way around. I'll keep everything nice and wet. So you get to see me demonstrate this multiple times. Keeping it wet. Now for the caviar. If you feel your brush is dragging a little bit, it's probably just too dry. So I'll just keep spraying it when I need to. This is the part where you need to blend in the previous version. It's not going to be totally dry down there, but you don't want to get down there too much. If you haven't checked it out, later on go check out the original piece. It's quite amazing. And if you guys are watching live or on replay, let me know if you have any questions. Right now I'm just kind of on autopilot a little bit. As I mentioned before, I'm still kind of up in the air on what I'm going to use to really pop and highlight the details. But I am going to come back with something, whether it's gilding wax, more chalk paint, something to really set the details off. And I'm excited to figure out what that is, I just don't know yet. Keep an eye on your blending brush, make sure it doesn't get too much with paint. You don't really want to look at your brush and see wet paint on there. If you need to, you can even spray your blending brush. Just don't get it too wet. Keep it nice and, I guess, almost natural. Just stand up so I can see. I think I actually have this door upside down, but it doesn't really matter. It's very symmetrical, like a classic piece would be. I don't know too many details about this piece. I do know that there's something in one of the drawers, but I couldn't tell if that's just the company that sold it or if it was actually the company that made it, but it's worn out and I have no information anymore about that. Got to be careful here not to get too far over here. I have gone too far, but that blending brush should help me with it. I'm actually having to be a little careful that I don't, the way I'm stabbing this, that I don't remove too much of the previous coats that I put on a couple days ago. All right, so got my 2 coats in there. Got my blending brush. Just slightly fade into the previous coat. Over here, it's going to be the driest. Probably be my biggest challenge is to get that blended. One nice thing about the blending technique is that it actually does help also to soften the brush strokes. And I've talked about this before, but the round nature of that brush has no hard points. It almost like doesn't leave a trace. So it's really great. I don't use this brush to apply paint ever. I could, but it's got a greater purpose. So about right in here is where my previous color is dry. So I'm putting a little bit of extra paint in there. A little spritz. And we'll see if we can wrap this up. So for not being done, meaning I have more work to do, I'm very pleased with, number one, how soft it is. I'm also pleased with the coloring. This is the first time I've actually used the Stormy Seas. Yeah, it's well described. It's a gray with a little bit of blue. The Caviar, I feel, is also on the blue side of black. So I think those 2 colors are going to work together. The next step will just be literally deciding what to do with the details. Let me give you an example, and I'll just paint over it if it doesn't work. This is manatee gray. I used this on some other pieces. It's a lighter gray. We can do, if you saw my last teal piece, we could use the dry brush technique and we can just touch it. I don't want the paint to get into the grooves. I just want it to be on the edge. So this is one technique I could use. Whatever I do, I want these details to really pop. And that didn't really take much paint. So you can see how I can't just stop with the gray. I need to make them scream louder, if you will. You can apply this with your finger. There's many other ways. A sponge. A sponge might give you more of a cleaner edge if you don't like the dry brush. I have to determine how much further to go with this and how deep you want to pop the details, but I like the look of that, and if I do this on the whole piece, it's just going to scream. So let's see if I can show you. best way to show you. So this is the bottom. You can see the details of the buffet I'm doing. So all of that needs to be done all the way across, and it's going to be really amazing when it's done. There are details across the top that'll get that effect. So there is many steps left on this project, and multiple days. I mean, I don't get to work on it all day, but it's going to be really cool. I'll keep an eye on. I can already see some of the paint drying, some areas I need to fix, but I don't want to overwork it right now. If I have to, I'll come back after it dries and finish it and redo some of this highlighting, and we'll see how that goes. So thanks for joining me tonight. Hopefully you enjoyed that, maybe learned something. If you have any questions, glad to answer those. And for Bowtie Tuesday Treasures, this is Aaron signing off. Have a great night.
That's the end of the show. Make sure you subscribe and ring the bell before you go. Bye!